The door slammed shut behind me with a finality that echoed through the empty hallway of our family home in suburban Chicago. I stood there, heart pounding, as my father's words rang in my ears. "You're no son of mine." It had started with a simple confession over dinner. I told him I was gay, that I'd fallen in love with my best friend, Ethan. But the rage in his eyes turned our quiet meal into a battlefield, leaving me homeless at 22, clutching a duffel bag under the pouring rain. I wandered the streets that night, the city lights blurring through my tears. Ethan had promised we'd face this together, but when I called him from a payphone, his voice was distant, hesitant. "Alex, I can't. My parents would kill me." The betrayal stung deeper than the cold, forcing me to crash on a park bench until dawn broke, my mind racing with questions of what I'd lost and why love had to come at such a price. By morning, I dragged myself to the local shelter, where a kind volunteer named Maria handed me a cup of coffee and a list of job openings. "Start small," she said, her eyes full of empathy. I nodded, swallowing my pride, and applied for the first thing I saw, a barista position at a downtown cafe. The interview was quick. The manager, a burly guy named Tom, hired me on the spot. "You look like you need a break, kid." Little did I know, this job would introduce me to Jordan, the customer who would upend my world again. Jordan first came in on a Tuesday afternoon, ordering a black coffee with a smile that lit up the dim cafe. He was tall, with tousled brown hair and eyes that seemed to see right through my forced cheer. "Rough day?" he asked, lingering at the counter. I shrugged, wiping down the espresso machine. "You could say that." We chatted briefly about the weather, but something in his gaze made my pulse quicken, a spark I hadn't felt since Ethan. Over the next weeks, Jordan became a regular. He'd sit at the corner table, typing on his laptop, occasionally glancing my way. One day he asked about my story. "You seem like you've got a lot on your mind." Hesitant at first, I opened up about my fallout with my family, omitting the details of my sexuality. He listened without judgment, sharing that he was a grad student studying psychology at the University of Chicago, focusing on family dynamics and societal pressures. "People fear what they don't understand," he said softly. His words resonated, easing the knot in my chest. But the internal conflict brewed. Every time Jordan smiled, I felt a pull, a reminder of what I'd lost with Ethan. Was I ready to risk more pain? My nights were sleepless, replaying my father's rejection, the way my mother's silence had cut deeper than words. Society's whispers followed me. Stares from strangers, news stories about hate crimes that made me paranoid. Yet, Jordan's presence offered a glimmer of hope, a chance to rebuild. One evening, after closing, Jordan waited outside. "Want to grab dinner?" No pressure. My heart raced. Saying yes felt like a betrayal to my cautious self, but the loneliness won. We walked to a nearby diner, talking for hours about dreams and fears. He confessed his own struggles. Growing up in a conservative Texas family, he'd hidden his bisexuality for years, only coming out in college. "It cost me friends, but gained me freedom." His honesty cracked my defenses. As we parted, he hugged me briefly, a simple gesture that ignited something forbidden. Back in my tiny shelter room, I paced, torn between excitement and dread. What if this led to more loss? The next day at work, I avoided his eyes, but he persisted gently. "Did I scare you off?" "No," I admitted inwardly. "You pulled me in." The tension built when Ethan called unexpectedly. "Alex, I'm sorry. I miss you." His voice cracked, but anger surged through me. "You left me alone that night." Hanging up, I realized the wound was still raw. Jordan noticed my distraction. "Everything okay?" I shook my head, and for the first time, confessed the full story. My love for Ethan, the kiss that started it all, the family rift. He didn't flinch. Instead, he reached across the counter, squeezing my hand. "You're brave." That touch lingered, sparking a moral dilemma. Was pursuing Jordan a rebound or genuine? Society's lens judged harshly. Two men together, still a target in parts of America. My father's voice echoed, "It's unnatural." But Jordan's empathy challenged that narrative. Weeks turned into months. We started meeting outside work, walks in Millennium Park, late-night talks on benches overlooking Lake Michigan. One night, under the stars, he leaned in. "Alex, I think I'm falling for you." Panic gripped me. I can't lose more. But his kiss, soft and tentative, melted my resolve. It was our first, a moment of pure connection amid the chaos. The high was short-lived. My sister, Lisa, tracked me down via social media. "Dad's furious, but Mom misses you." She urged reconciliation, but only if I fixed myself. The pressure mounted, family loyalty versus self-truth. Jordan encouraged therapy, but I resisted, fearing vulnerability. Then, a confrontation at the cafe. Ethan showed up, eyes pleading. "Give me another chance." Jordan walked in mid-argument, sensing the tension. "Who's this?" The air thickened. I introduced them awkwardly, but Ethan's jealousy flared. "So, you've moved on?" His accusation stung, forcing me to choose sides mentally. That night, alone, I weighed the costs. Loving Jordan meant embracing my identity fully, risking further isolation. But hiding meant a life of shadows. The decision loomed, heavy as the city skyline. The fallout from Ethan's visit rippled through my days. Jordan pulled back slightly, giving me space, but his texts were laced with concern. "Take your time, Alex." I appreciated it, yet the silence amplified my inner turmoil. Work became a refuge, but even there, whispers from coworkers about that guy who keeps coming in made me self-conscious. In a progressive city like Chicago, acceptance varied. Some embraced diversity, others clung to outdated biases. One afternoon, Jordan invited me to his apartment for a home-cooked meal. "No expectations," he assured. I agreed, curious and nervous. His place was cozy, filled with books on human behavior and posters of civil rights icons. Over pasta, we delved deeper. He shared how his coming out had fractured his relationship with his brother, who still refused to speak to him. "It's the price of authenticity," he said, his voice steady but eyes betraying pain. Inspired, I opened up about my childhood, strict Catholic upbringing, where deviation from norms was sin. "My dad saw me as his legacy. Now I'm a disappointment." Jordan listened, then challenged gently. "Is living a lie worth their approval?" His words hit hard, stirring a moral quandary. Was love selfish if it hurt others? Our evenings together intensified. We'd debate societal norms, how media portrayed gay relationships as either tragic or comedic, rarely real. Jordan's passion ignited mine. For the first time, I felt seen. But doubt crept in when Lisa called again. "Come home for Thanksgiving. Pretend it's a phase." The temptation was real: regain family, sacrifice self. I confided in Jordan, who urged against it. "That's not living. That's surviving." The conflict peaked at a university event Jordan invited me to, a panel on LGBTQ+ rights. Surrounded by activists, I felt empowered, but a heckler shouted slurs, reminding me of dangers. Later, walking home, Jordan held my hand publicly for the first time. Adrenaline surged, fear mixed with defiance. "This is us," he whispered. Back at his place, emotions overflowed. We talked until dawn, sharing vulnerabilities. He admitted fearing commitment after a past betrayal. "My ex left when things got real." I mirrored that fear, but our connection deepened. No rush, just presence. Then, Ethan reappeared, emailing apologies and pleas. I was scared, but I'm ready now. Reading it, guilt washed over me. Had I abandoned him? Jordan sensed my distraction. "You have to decide what you want." His patience was a double-edged sword, pushing me toward clarity. I chose to meet Ethan at a neutral spot, a quiet bar. He looked haggard, confessing his family's pressure mirrored mine. They threatened to cut me off. Sympathy stirred, but so did resentment. You chose them over us. He begged forgiveness, leaning in for a hug that felt wrong. Pulling away, I realized my heart belonged elsewhere. Rushing to Jordan's, I confessed the meeting. I needed closure. He nodded, but hurt flickered in his eyes. Trust is everything. The conversation turned tense. Accusations of lingering feelings. For the first time, we argued, voices raised about loyalty and fear. Are you all in, Alex? He demanded. Storming out, I wandered the streets, replaying the fight. Society's weight pressed. Gay men stereotyped as fickle, relationships dismissed as phases. Was I proving them right? Dawn found me at the lakefront, contemplating the waves. Returning to Jordan, I apologized. I'm scared, but I choose you. Reconciliation was sweet, but fragile. Family pressures escalated. My mother snuck a visit to the cafe, tears in her eyes. Your father regrets his words, but he can't accept this. She handed me a letter from him, harsh, demanding repentance. Reading it, my resolve wavered. Jordan supported me. You don't owe them change. But the moral dilemma gnawed. Honor thy parents or honor thyself. Therapy, suggested by Jordan, became my outlet. Sessions uncovered buried traumas. Bullying in school, suppressed desires. Progress was slow, but enlightening. A turning point came during Pride Month. Jordan convinced me to attend the parade. Colors, cheers, community, it was overwhelming yet affirming. Holding his hand amid the crowd, I felt free. But spotting a familiar face, my cousin, sent panic. Would word get back? That night, intimacy grew emotionally. We shared dreams. Jordan wanted to advocate for youth. I aspired to write about our struggles. Together we can, he said. Hope bloomed, but shadows lingered. Ethan's final ploy. A surprise visit to Jordan's apartment, intercepted by me. Tell him I love him, Ethan pleaded. Shutting the door, I chose loyalty. But the incident strained us. Jordan questioned my boundaries. Set them or lose me. The argument escalated, words like daggers. Maybe we're rushing, I snapped. He agreed coldly. Space ensued. Days of radio silence. Loneliness amplified regrets. Was this the price? Reconciliation attempts failed initially. Voicemails unanswered. I reflected on choices. Society's judgment paled against personal truth. Finally, a text. Meet me at our spot. At the park bench, tears flowed. I can't lose you, I admitted. Embrace followed, mending fractures. But healing was tentative, with family ultimatums looming. Summer heat blanketed Chicago, mirroring the rising tension in my life. Jordan and I navigated our relationship carefully, but external forces conspired against us. My job at the cafe stabilized, yet coworkers' subtle homophobia, jokes about those types, chipped at my confidence. Jordan's encouragement kept me grounded. Rise above. A major conflict arose when his research project on queer family dynamics required interviews. He asked if I'd participate anonymously. It could help others. Hesitant, I agreed, pouring out my story. Hearing it recorded amplified the pain, but also catharsis. You're stronger than you know, Jordan said post-session. Family drama intensified. Lisa organized a reunion dinner, inviting me under false pretenses. Arriving at a restaurant, I found my parents waiting. Dad's face hardened. We need to talk. Mom pleaded for compromise. Can't you try therapy to change? The suggestion ignited fury. This isn't a choice. Storming out, I called Jordan, who rushed over. His support was unwavering, but the encounter reopened wounds. They don't see me, I vented. He held me, whispering affirmations. Yet doubt crept. Was burdening him fair? Societal backlash hit closer. A local news story about a gay bashing in our neighborhood heightened paranoia. Walking together, we avoided PDA, a concession that frustrated Jordan. Hiding isn't living. The debate turned heated. Freedom versus safety. I've lost enough, I argued. Compromise ensued. Small acts of defiance. Ethan faded, but his shadow lingered in my insecurities. Dreams plagued me, betrayals, abandonments. Therapy helped unpack them, revealing patterns of self-sabotage. Jordan attended a session, strengthening our bond. A pivotal moment. Jordan's brother, unexpectedly, reached out. I miss you, man. Reconciliation talks began, inspiring me. Maybe families evolve. Emboldened, I wrote my father a letter. Honest, unyielding. No response came, deepening the ache. At work, promotion loomed, but required relocating to a branch in a less tolerant suburb. Think about us, Jordan urged. The decision weighed. Career versus relationship. Choosing to stay, I prioritized love, a sacrifice that bonded us. Intimacy deepened emotionally, shared vulnerabilities, future plans. Marriage someday? Jordan mused. The idea terrified yet thrilled. But reality intruded. Same-sex marriage legal, but family acceptance elusive. Conflict peaked at a friend's wedding. Seeing hetero norms celebrated, envy stirred. Jordan noticed. Our love is valid. But a drunk guest's slur triggered me. Faggots ruin everything. Fists clenched, Jordan intervened calmly. Later, we discussed fight or educate. The incident sparked activism. Jordan volunteered at a LGBTQ+ center. I joined. Mentoring youth, I saw mirrors of my struggles. Teens disowned, suicidal. It fueled purpose, but exhausted us. Personal toll mounted. Jordan's health suffered. Stress-induced migraines. I'm fine, he lied. Confronting him, truths emerged. Fear of my family's pull. What if you go back? Assurance followed, but trust frayed. A betrayal from within. My coworker, overhearing a call, outed me to the manager. Tom, surprisingly supportive, but the breach hurt. Privacy matters. Jordan raged. Sue them. Restraint won, but paranoia grew. Family's next move. Mom visited alone. Dad softening, but needs time. Hope flickered, but conditions attached. End things with Jordan. Choose family. The ultimatum tore me. Confiding in Jordan, tears flowed. I can't lose you. He held firm. Don't let them control. The moral crossroads. Loyalty to blood versus chosen family. Nights of agony. Weighing pros/cons. Society praised filial piety. But at what cost? Resolution came in a quiet moment. I choose us, I declared. Jordan's relief palpable. But the decision isolated me further. Mom's calls ceased. Highs followed. A weekend getaway to Michigan dunes. Laughter, love, reprieve from chaos. This is worth it, Jordan said, kissing me under sunset. Return brought reality. Jordan's project published, featuring my anonymized story. Positive feedback, but a reviewer criticized, romanticizes dysfunction. Stung, questioning our narrative. Tensions simmered. An argument over finances, my low pay strained dates. Let me help, Jordan offered. Pride refused, escalating to shouts. I'm not charity. Makeup was passionate, but patterns emerged. Awakening dawned. Therapy revealed codependency. Balance, independence. Adjustments made, relationships strengthened. Yet, society's mirror reflected harshly. A poll on TV. Declining acceptance of gay rights. We're regressing, Jordan lamented. Defiance grew. We attended rallies, voices united. Personal growth. I started writing a blog, anonymous tales of struggle. Readers connected, validating pain. But the cost? Exhaustion, isolation. Friends distanced, fearing drama. Worth it? Pondered. Climax built toward confrontation. Autumn leaves fell like forgotten promises as Chicago braced for winter. Jordan and I hit a rhythm, Dates, support, but undercurrents threatened. His brother's visit loomed, a test of family mending. Be yourself, Jordan said nervously. I prepared, hoping for alliance. The dinner was tense. Brother Mark eyed me suspiciously. So, you're the reason he's estranged? Jordan defended. No, prejudice is. Debate ensued, Bible verses versus human rights. Mark softened slightly. I don't get it, but I love my brother. A small victory, but draining. Inspired, I reached for my family. A neutral email to Dad. Let's talk. Response. Only if you repent. Heartbreak renewed. Jordan consoled. Their loss. Societal pressures amplified. Workplace discrimination suit considered after outing incident. Lawyer advised. Strong case, but backlash. Weighing exposure versus justice, I proceeded. Media attention followed, local paper interviewed. Standing up matters. Jordan proud, but fears mounted, threats online. Anonymity shattered when a troll doxed me. Hate mail arrived, echoing Dad's words. Paranoia peaked, changed routes home. Jordan installed security. We're in this. Moral quandary. Fight public? Risk safety? Retreat felt cowardly. Rally attendance increased, speeches given. Empowerment surged, but toll evident. Sleepless nights. Ethan resurfaced via message. Saw your story. Proud. But miss us. Block ensued, closure final. Relationships strained under stress. Jordan withdrew, buried in work. Space needed. Panic. Was this end? Confrontation. Don't shut me out. Tears. I'm scared of losing you to this fight. Vulnerability bonded. A turning point. Therapy joint session. Unpacked fears. Abandonment for me, inadequacy for him. Progress. Communication improved. Family twist. Lisa eloped, inviting me secretly. Dad doesn't know. Tending joy mixed with guilt. Seeing her happiness contrasted my struggles. Fight for yours, she whispered. Return energized. Proposed to Jordan. Move in. Acceptance joyful. Apartment hunt symbolized commitment. But betrayal struck. A friend leaked my blog to family. Dad called raging. You're shaming us. Disownment reaffirmed. Mom's silence deafening. Devastated, I questioned choices. Jordan held. We're your family now. Societal awakening. Volunteered at shelter. Mentoring displaced youth. Stories mirrored mine, resilience inspired. Highs. First holiday together. Thanksgiving feast. Toasts to survival. Lows. Health scare. My panic attack hospitalized. Jordan by side. Breathe. Recovery forced reflection. Balance needed. Activism evolved, wrote op-ed on family rejection. Published, responses varied. Support, hate. Debate sparked. Right to love versus tradition. Personal cost. Friendships lost to judgment. Too political, they said. Jordan's project expanded, book deal. Co-authored chapter, our story woven in. Tensions with Mark resolved. Holiday invite accepted. Progress slow. My writing gained traction. Agent interest. Tell your truth. But shadows. Anonymous threat at rally. Police involved. Fear heightened. Decision. Temporary retreat from public eye. Protect us. Reconnection attempts with mom. Secret lunch. Tears. I love you, but Dad. Partial acceptance, bittersweet. Relationship deepened, vows exchanged privately. Forever. Yet doubts, was sacrifice worth it? Climax approached. Major confrontation. Winter's grip tightened on Chicago. Snow blanketing the city in deceptive peace. Jordan and I cohabited. Our small apartment a sanctuary amid storms. Mornings started with coffee and kisses. Evenings with deep talks. But the outside world intruded relentlessly. The lawsuit progressed. Court date set. Nerves frayed. What if we lose? Jordan reassured. Truth prevails. Preparation consumed us, witness statements, evidence, moral weight, justice for all or personal vendetta. Societal reflection. News of anti-gay bills in states alarmed. Our rights fragile, Jordan noted. Advocacy intensified, petitions, calls to reps. Family fracture mended slightly. Mom's covert visits increased. Dad's reading about it. Hope flickered, but caution ruled. Betrayal from unexpected. Jordan's ex contacted, stirring jealousy. Just friends, he claimed. Trust tested, snooped phone, regretted. Argument. Invasion. Apology. Fear drives me. Forgiveness hard-earned. Internal conflict. Therapy revealed imposter syndrome. Deserve happiness? Affirmations helped. A awakening. Mentee at center came out successfully. Thanks to you. Purpose renewed. Highs weekend ski trip. Laughter in snow. Love reaffirmed. Lows. Dad's health scare heart issue. Lisa begged return. He needs you. Dilemma. Go as myself? Arrived at hospital, Dad's eyes cold. Not like this. Left heartbroken. Jordan consoled. You tried. But guilt gnawed. Duty versus self-preservation? Societal pushback. Protest turned violent. Pepper spray. Arrests. Jordan injured slightly. Hospital vigil. Worth it. Debate. Activism's price. Recovery. Drew closer, plans for future adoption dreams. Writing breakthrough. Book outline sold. Our story matters. But toll. Exhaustion led to miscommunication. Fight over trivial escalated to core issues. Am I enough? Jordan asked. Reassurance. Always. Reconciliation. Romantic dinner. Vows renewed. Family ultimatum. Dad's letter. Meet halfway. Therapy for cure. Refusal. Accept or nothing. Mom's choice. Sided quietly with me. Visit when he's out. Fractured loyalty. Societal win. Lawsuit settled favorably. Compensation policy changes. Victory bittersweet, exposure cost privacy. Threats ceased, but vigilance remained. Personal growth. Embraced identity fully. Pride flag in window. Jordan's book launch. Proud attendance. Speech. Love conquers. Yet, doubts. Long-term sustainability. Climax. Major decision loomed. Spring thawed the ice, bringing renewal and reckoning. Jordan's book tour took him away briefly, testing our bond. Daily calls sustained, but absence amplified reflections. Is this the life I want? The question haunted, weighing joys against pains. Return celebrated with passion. Missed you, but undercurrents. Tour encounters stirred insecurities. Fans flirted, lighthearted but probing. Family evolution. Dad attended therapy alone. Mom reported progress. He's trying. Skepticism but openness. Societal shift. Supreme Court ruling bolstered rights. Celebration rally, joyful unity. Personal milestone, my book published. Launch party, Jordan by side. Toasts to resilience. But backlash. Negative reviews accused sensationalism. Exploiting pain. Defense. Sharing heals. Conflict final. Ethan at signing. Confronting. You villainized me. Truth. You chose fear. Closure. Wish you well. Home, Jordan question narrative. Fair to him. Debate. Truth versus kindness. Moral resolution. Forgiveness extended inwardly. Highs peaked. Proposal. Jordan knelt in park. Marry me. Tears. Yes. Planning amid chaos. Family invite? Dad declined. Mom attended secretly. Wedding intimate, friends, allies. Vows. Through storms. Honeymoon, coastal escape. Bliss but realities loomed. Return, Dad's call. Congratulations. Sort of. Thaw began. Awakening collective, mentored community grew. Yet costs tallied. Lost relationships, health scares, emotional scars. Story closes on reflection. Choices defined us. Was sacrificing family ties for personal truth the right path, or a selfish escape?